In this episode, we're discussing Solarpunk. Solarpunk is an incredible social movement that envisions working towards a sustainable future more aligned with nature and community. We talk about how this is modern matriarchy. We discuss its ties to technology, amongst many other things, and tell you its origin.
Let's talk about what intuition really is.
Let's look at all the places intuition and ego show up in your life.
Let's share honestly.
Let's do the research.
I'm Jamie Hayhurst.
I'm Heather Wood.
This is the Intuitive Girl's Guide.
This episode will play uninterrupted after a brief message from our sponsors.
You know what goes great with podcast listening?
A great cup of coffee from a great coffee shop.
Yep, beans roasted in-house, amazing baristas. You know where I'm talking about.
Restoration Coffee. Can we go?
Yes, I need an Americano and maybe a panini too.
Ooh, I need blueberry maple latte and probably a resto bowl.
Ooh, yeah, check them out and visit restoration-coffee.com. Hey Jay.
Hey.
We have kind of a fun topic.
Interesting.
I think it's interesting.
Yeah.
I'm really excited about it.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about something called Solarpunk today.
Mm-hmm.
And for the most part, I think this is a very underground movement.
Yes.
And if you are on the same sort of algorithm as me on TikTok, you may have heard about it.
Yeah, but I hadn't.
You hadn't. So it's really interesting because I would
agree.
imagine that our algorithms are very similar.
Yes.
Based on what we send each other.
Yep.
There's so many times where I'm like, oh, I almost sent that to you. Or, yeah.
Right.
So it's interesting because we're both clearly on like the patriarchy sucks TikTok.
Right. But you even told me about it and I Googled it. I looked it up on TikTok.
Yeah.
I watched a couple videos of it and then it didn't influence the algorithm. Like it didn't keep coming up, which I thought was weird.
Well,
like
maybe now that we're going to talk about it for a little while,
maybe
it'll change.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm sure it's being suppressed as well because it's like it's a matriarchal concept. We'll get into all of that. But whether or not you've heard of it, I want you to hear about it.
Mm-hmm.
And I always want you to know the origin of things.
Correct.
Because, you know, a movement like this, and I'll get more into the why of this, but it could easily go off the rails. And I get really protective of stuff. Like when something comes up that's like actually good.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Like I'm like, we got to protect this because the patriarchy is going to like try to slant this.
Take
They're
it.
Gonna come,
right.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I feel like if you understand its history and the origin of it, it makes it a lot harder for you to be sort of influenced away from disbelieving it or seeing it in a different way.
Right.
So that's my hope for everybody. So Solarpunk, to put it simply, is a social movement that envisions working towards a sustainable future more aligned with nature and community. Does that sound familiar, Jay?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's called matriarchy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. So the solar part comes from the idea of sustainable energy and the punk part comes from anti-capitalism.
Mm-hmm.
Both things we're real excited about.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
It's cool with me.
We like that.
Yeah.
I have to just side note to you that I have become very self-conscious of the video because we get so many messages of people talking about my finger posturing and how it's a sign of autism while I'm talking on the episode.
Are they?
Oh my God. Probably it's probably not that much, but it's like at least 3 a week.
What are you doing?
I'm talking and I do,
stimming,
it's called finger posturing and it's an autism stim. And it's like psychologists will message me or doctors will, and they're like, hey, do you know that you
Is it interesting that
finger
people do that?
And people are like really noticing it. And I don't mind. I'm not going to stop, but I find like I was just doing it and I was like,
you can do whatever you want to do.
I know, but like it becomes something that like
you're aware of it now.
Yeah, it's just something I do and I don't think about, but I didn't actually understand that it was a stim.
Right.
I know that sounds silly, but I think I was just like keeping track of what I was talking about in my head.
Right.
On my hands.
Uh-huh.
But I was...
Yeah, keep going.
It's got its own name.
Yeah.
Finger posturing. So yes, I do it all the time. I don't mind if you write in about it, but I do know that I do it. I don't need you to keep telling me.
Right.
I also do know that the way I sit is a sign of Elder's Danos.
Yeah, we know that. That we knew.
So you can curve those if you want.
That's established.
On top of it.
Yeah.
Jamie knows she has ADHD. You
Yeah.
don't need to write in about that either.
Right.
Okay. So moving on. If I'm awkward with my hands today, it's because I'm thinking about it, because I literally just saw a message on Instagram from somebody about it. And I was like,
it's funny. No one messages me about anything. They must pick up the vibes.
well, I think you're very
don't bother.
open about ADHD. It's probably mentioned in every episode that you have it.
True.
I don't think I say.
Yeah, sometimes,
And when I do, I'm like, I don't have like an official diagnosis.
True.
I try to like explain that, but the internet has diagnosed me.
Yeah, well,
I got it.
Yep.
Got it, everybody. Okay. So this Solarpunk movement, getting back to that, it is, for some of us, showing up on social media a lot. There's definitely a influx of people talking about it again.
Yeah.
It's not, in some spaces, I see people talking about it as like a matriarchal concept, where for the most part, people aren't really aligning those two things.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes I see people talking about it like these concepts are like brand new ideas.
Oh, really? I didn't see any of that.
And I'm like, oh.
Yeah, the ones I saw, they were talking about how it was that it was like socialism.
Yes.
Which it is.
It is socialism.
But like how those words have been sort of co-opted and sullied, so like they want to rename it to something else.
Yes.
So people will buy in.
And also, as soon as you put like a political label on something, a lot of people's brains short circuit about it. And so I think if you instead are like matriarchy, and we've talked about socialism before. Socialism is the closest patriarchal concept to matriarchy.
Correct.
But it's in a patriarchal system. So therefore it can't actually be matriarchy. Correct. Do we like it? Do we want it? Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Just to clarify.
Yeah.
Okay. And when you see it, again, this is just my experience, because your experience looking for it on TikTok was different. Mm-hmm. But I will see some that are from a more hippie-esque crowd talking about Solarpunk. And then I'll see some from more of like the science crowd talking about it. And they talk about them very differently. Mm-hmm. And so I think I'm going to talk about sort of that occurrence, but I think you really see that like terrible split between science and I guess spirituality or philosophy when you're looking at this stuff, because they are the same.
Yeah, exactly.
You can't do one without the other one. And it really just bothers me when even when scientists come out and they're like, well, I study the stars, but astrology is dumb. And you're like, that makes no sense.
Right, exactly.
Why would you decide to stop at how it affects human behavior and decide that that's crazy?
Right.
I mean, I know why, but.
Well, exactly.
Yeah. Okay. So something else that I find very exciting in the Solarpunk world is that it's very female, women in STEM focused. Mm-hmm. And I think that's incredibly exciting, because I think the STEM world is going to start, it's already started, but really move towards this. Right. And it really shows how many women in reaction to the world and stuff are like, we gotta take this shit
something back. Right, exactly.
Yeah. So I think anytime I see a bunch of women entering an arena that are really smart, I'm like, let's pay attention over there.
That's interesting, because I think that must be sort of like the difference in the algorithms, because you were seeing women in STEM.
Yeah.
And the ones that came to me on my feed were like, they were more like women of color, and they were like activists.
Yes.
So like saying the same things.
Yes.
But it must be like,
yeah.
You know what I mean?
I think the way it's hitting is like it's hitting in like these different pockets.
Yeah.
And it's all the same. And this is bigger than science. It's bigger than socialism. It's bigger than any one element. It's bigger than like the woohoo world or the hippie world. Like it's much bigger than that. And so, and it requires all of those things to work together. Mm-hmm. How matriarchal is that?
I mean, that's sort of the whole point.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I think it's interesting. I think you'll start to see it like blend in you'll see it sort of like crossing these lines pretty soon. Okay. That's my guess. But I want to start by giving you like the backstory of it. And before I do, I gotta tell you something that I think is very exciting, but that might just be to my autistic brain.
What?
This I've researched a lot of things.
Yes, you have.
Not just for the podcast. I just
Right.
think I'm a researcher in general. But every time we do an episode, and we've done over 200 episodes,
Mm-hmm.
I research the episode. And so I'm always looking into things.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a real distinction between matriarchal concepts that are like pagan concepts and how those kinds of things, when you're researching it, how they look and how they develop and how they affect the culture and their story.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a real difference between the patriarchal ones where everything has a father and it was invented in this year.
Right.
And, do you know what I mean?
Like a history, right?
Yes, they're very, very different.
Mm-hmm.
And the Solarpunk, when I was researching it, this is very matriarchal, pagan sort of thing. And I looked back through, I have a spreadsheet on all the episodes, to no one's surprise. I looked back and I was like, I don't remember ever researching like a modern thing that I was like, ooh,
right,
this is matriarchal.
Right.
Look at this new quote unquote new thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that's
awesome.
Yeah. So pattern recognition was like
there we go.
blinking at me.
Yeah.
Okay. So we believe this started in 2008.
Okay.
And the reason I'm saying we believe is because there's no father of this. This is something that evolved, much like any pagan concept. It's like, what's the origin of this fairy tale? Well, we can kind of go back, but it's influenced by so many things. It's like the story of Medusa or, any of the goddesses. It's like, well, it's changed to reflect the time and what people need from it.
Mm-hmm.
You sort of see this here as well.
Right.
And because this isn't something that there are 50 books written about yet, or like we're kind of early,
right?
It's hard to research.
Yep.
But to the best of my abilities, I can confidently say that I think the term itself and the idea was sort of born from a blog post.
Okay.
All right. And this is in 2008. And the blog is called Republic of Bees. And the name of the article is From Steampunk to Solarpunk.
Got it.
Now,
okay.
The author of this article is anonymous, and the blog owner in all of the blog posts is anonymous.
Okay.
And I did a little research to try to see if I could figure out who it was to give them credit.
Mm-hmm.
But I uncovered a couple of possibilities, but I'm not going to say them because I got the impression that the person wanted to remain anonymous.
Okay, that's good. Respect
so
that.
If it comes out later that they don't and they want credit, I'm super happy to correct that. But it seems like they went to some lengths to have their name not said, so I don't think it's right for me to say their name.
I agree.
Okay. So this blog still exists.
Okay.
If you Google the Republic of Bees Steampunk to Solarpunk, you will find the article. I read it. It's not very long. Go right ahead and read it.
Okay.
But I've summarized it for you in case you don't care to do that.
Let's hear it.
Okay. So this article is actually about a ship called the Beluga Skysail. And I believe this was a German ship. And it is a hybrid sail ship. So it was supplementing energy by using wind power.
Okay.
And so it was like a big deal when this launched back in 2008.
Mm-hmm.
Probably not as big of a deal as it should have been.
I bet not. Yeah.
But it was talked about because, again, I'm not sure if you're aware, but fossil fuels are a big problem on many levels.
They are.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So this sort of event happening in the blog, the author of the blog says that it makes them think of a book that they read, which is called Songs from the Stars by Norman Spinrad. And it's about a society that restricts itself to only 4 kinds of renewable energy: muscle, sun, wind, and water.
Okay.
That's the only kind of energy they can use, and that's what the story is about. Okay. So this makes this sailing boat makes the author recall this book that they've read and the influence it had on them. And they say, I would like to suggest a new literary genre. And they say solarpunk. And they say it's derived from the idea of steampunk. Now, steampunk, if you're not aware, as a literary genre anyways, is about an alternative future in which steam tech was never replaced by oil-based tech.
Yep. Right. That's
okay.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the author of this article is suggesting we use this literary genre because when you see a story and you see a different possibility,
Mhm.
it feels different. And we're going to talk about this later too, but it feels different than just being told like, this is the shit that's going to happen.
Right. Right.
If we keep letting these greedy capitalistic I'm putting that in air quotes,
Well,
do all this stuff, we're going to be in the Lorax. Like,
yeah.
yeah, we've seen all those dystopian movies. And,
Yeah.
But like, it doesn't give you an idea of what else
The possibilities are.
Yeah.
Right.
So then you just kind of have this doom,
Dread.
fear, dread. Yeah. And
Right.
so this sort of article is like suggesting something else.
Love it.
10 out of 10.
Yeah.
Okay. So again, go read the whole article if you want. It's not very long, but that's the basic gist. Now, in 2009, so a year after this blog comes out, this idea gains more popularity with something called the Green Punk Manifesto.
Okay.
So this comes out, and this is the idea of not taking the solar punk idea and not just applying it to energy-based stuff,
Mm-hmm.
but also to tech.
Okay.
So, reminder, 2009.
Mm-hmm.
Sort of a warning. Tech's going to destroy the planet if we don't actually come in.
And look where we are now.
I know. And bring this to the forefront.
Not even 20 years later.
Yeah. And it's frustrating in the sense of like, hey, people were telling us.
They were.
You know?
They have been.
Yeah.
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 For a very long time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm trying not to go on a tangent.
Yeah.
About the greed of billionaires
Capitalism.
and what capitalism has done to us
Mhm.
all.
It's rotted. It's like rotted us.
Rotted is the perfect word because like we rely on it. We can't, we have trouble imagining a life without it.
Correct.
As much as I don't want to, I still use Amazon. I try to use it less, but it's so convenient. It's really hard to exist in the world and not do those things.
Yeah, well, we spoke about it, I think, in the last episode.
Yeah,
it was like
many episodes.
What, like, if we're canceling all of these businesses, like, you can't be left with nothing, right? Like, if we're boycotting Target and we don't go to Walmart, like, then
you have to go somewhere,
you know.
And we're going to talk about this later, but I would love to shift to a model where I'm going to a local person's store.
Yeah, same. But like, if you need, like, in my head, it's always like, if you need a pair of socks.
Yeah.
Like, I remember one time I needed socks for my son, and I was like, like there's, and I live in the city, right? Yeah, exactly, right. And it's like there's no other choices but these like big capitalistic box stores.
Exactly. Like, I would love to do my grocery shopping at a store run by someone in my community, but that doesn't exist. I have to choose between giant, chains, and then the stores that are small businesses have trouble competing. You know what I mean? Because like the cost of everything, and people like the convenience of a big store. And I get it, but like the whole idea isn't for you to like listen to this episode and go like, oh man, it's my fault. And I'm terrible because I have to go to, Amazon
wherever,
or whatever. Yeah. No.
Right.
The blame lies where it lies, and it's not on
us,
the consumers. But there is some responsibility that we have.
Correct.
To be aware of it and to do it less and to start shifting away from it. But like, we need these like really smart people, these smart women I was talking about before, to come in and to create these things and like offer them. And then we need to rush in and support them.
Yes,
we need to insist on these things being funded. Like, that's our role in this.
Yeah. And our role in this as a podcast is to slowly help you like unravel all of your ties to this stuff. So when those stores do pop up, you're ready to let go of the big chains and the capitalism. And like, hopefully like we're helping you. That's in your head a little bit is like, it's time to move on.
I got a lot of messages from people and feedback about the episodes we did on the internet.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. And a lot of people were saying like, phrasing it like, I just needed someone to talk about it like that.
Right.
And like, I think we tried anyways to do the kind of job where we weren't guilting you, but we were showing you that this was being created so that you would rely on it.
Right.
And so then...
So you take responsibility for it.
Yes, and also it's like you can't live without it.
Right.
And so then you have to keep paying and you have to keep destroying our own planet. Like, so it's just about the awareness.
Correct.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
It's shifting that awareness and just asking yourself, like, what things can I do realistically?
Right.
It's not like shaming yourself because you had to run to Walmart for socks one time or
Right.
wherever. Do you know what I mean? It's like, I do the best I can when I can. And I keep paying attention. I keep making myself aware of this. And I know what they're doing. That's what we need to do.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. I'll reel in the rest of that tangent, but that's where I feel like.
Same.
So now this idea of tech getting out of control and hurting the planet, and someone in 2009, and not just one person, but like this is sort of where we track it back to, going, hey, let's apply it to everything, not just energy. Let's apply to everything this idea of it should be renewable. It shouldn't hurt the planet.
Right.
It shouldn't be owned by capitalism. It should serve the community. Like this in 2009, people going like, yeah. And it became this sort of like underground kind of club of people who would sort of dream about what that could be like.
Okay.
And I think that's important to state multiple times, because if we had listened then, it would have become different. And like, I think it's important to understand that it isn't, your choice doesn't have to be not use technology ever.
Right.
And be, you know, matriarchal and root for the planet and do the right thing and not steal people's art and not put out slop of your own. Like,
yeah, please.
You know what I mean? It doesn't have to be technology or not.
Right. It's not all or nothing.
Yes, but it could be, let's do technology differently. So some of the things about AI that are great could be used to benefit people and make everyone's lives better.
Correct.
And aid the planet, help save the planet, make the planet better than it was.
Right.
That's the two choices.
Exactly.
And that's what we should be insisting on, and pointing out that these really quote unquote smart tech guys that are running everything, if they're smart enough to create it this way, they were smart enough to create it the other way.
Agreed. Exactly.
And this idea was out before they were doing what they were doing.
Yeah, and they just don't care. Like, that's what you need to just accept, is that they literally do not care about the planet, about you, your family. They don't care.
If you care about the planet, you have to subscribe to matriarchy. So if your whole life is benefited by patriarchy and capitalism, you can't sign up on the side of, let's make sure this technology doesn't hurt the planet. In fact, let's help it.
Right. You
can't, those two things won't get along.
Correct.
And they're choosing greed.
Yeah, it's like a nihilism. Like they don't care. Like it's like a,
or they care
apathy.
In the wrong direction.
Yeah, like they just like, and that's, you can even see that nihilism in like other things, like in that Groyper, you know, red pill, black pill community. Like a lot of that is rooted in nihilism of like, hey, the world's trash, the planet's dying. Let's like make a meme about it. Like let's like make a joke about it rather than like actually caring and giving a shit. Because I mean, talk about a rabbit hole, but like those men haven't been given any like critical thinking skills or emotional intelligence.
Correct.
So they don't know how to grapple with the feelings of like the world is dying. That's why, let's be honest, that's probably why you're seeing women in this is because they're probably inherently more empathetic and more intuitive. And so they're going to lean towards the side of like, yeah, we're screwed. Let's fix it. Not like we're screwed. Let's make a joke about it and like take it down with us.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like that's the sort of differentiation. Not that men aren't empathetic and don't care. There are many men who are advocates for the planet. But
of course, yes.
You know.
Yeah. Well, I think it's important because the real like power of this concept isn't in the fact that like no one's ever thought of this yet.
Right.
The real power of it is like, hey, if we have books written about this, if we sit and think about it, like, and show that this is possible, it does something to your brain. Like, this might feel like a stretch, but like, go with me on this. It's like when you talk to somebody who doesn't read ever.
Mm-hmm.
And you talk to someone who does
Mm-hmm.
read. Those are two different kinds of brains.
Correct.
Do you know what I mean? And I'm not saying if you don't read books, there's anything wrong with you. No. But it's been, again, scientifically proven that reading increases empathy.
Correct.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I'm not talking about intelligence here. I'm talking
of
about
course.
empathy.
Right.
The idea of seeing things from a different perspective or looking at the world in a different way. Like this
or just experiencing other situations you haven't actually lived.
Yes.
Right.
Right. Okay. Even I think about, I'm usually always reading a book, as are you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But there'd be times where, for whatever reason, I go like a week or two without reading a book.
Mm-hmm.
It's usually because I'm in like a paralysis of choosing one, or I'm like mourning the loss of the book or the series I've finished.
I'm usually just waiting on one from Libby.
Yeah, right, exactly. So in those times, the way my brain operates when there's a book in my head and the way my brain operates when there isn't is very different.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
I got to say, the one with the book going on is a lot happier. It's a lot more balanced. It's a lot more creative.
Right. Agreed. Yeah.
Okay. So if you have stories, and we know the power of stories, right? I can't undersell that.
Right.
Where you see, oh, it could be this way.
Mm-hmm.
Not only does it make it possible for you, but it stops the story you've been sold that these guys creating these things are geniuses. Because if you were geniuses, you could do it like that.
Right.
That's what a genius is.
Yep.
A genius would do it without the sacrifice. You took the shortcut.
Yeah, without the harm.
Yeah.
Right, exactly.
And that is powerful because people still believe that. The amount of times I hear people say something like, oh, Elon sucks, but like he's such a genius.
First of all, he's not.
Nope.
First of all, he's
rich.
not.
That's all.
Yeah, and he's took everyone's ideas. Like, he's not smart. Please don't. Just Google that for like 30 seconds.
Yes.
And you'll find out that Elon Musk is not smart at all.
No. He didn't start any of the companies. He just bought them and put his face in front of them. Like No. He didn't invent anything. He did not create anything.
Right.
No.
But the idea of the planet is that, like, and when you're talking about this, like, thinking about, like, how, like, these tech billionaires or whatever, trillionaires now, like, they could have had all of these ideas without harming the planet. But the thing is that they wouldn't consider working outside of the system.
Right.
Because the system benefits them.
Yes.
It benefits them and their money and their greed. And what's the difference is that these women with the Solarpunk is that they realize the problem and they want a solution also, but they're willing to think outside of the system.
Right. That is 100% it, because it's that unwillingness to say, like, this is only benefiting me, and to like imagine something different.
Right.
Like, listen, I remember, I don't know how many years ago it was, but it was a while ago. I remember first thinking of like, how could we live without capitalism? And like, how would that even work? And that feeling scary. Do you remember? I'm talking like, not super long, like 10, 15 years ago when you start, that was like being introduced in a real way.
Right.
Probably around this time.
Then, right.
You know, and you're like, how would that even work? But, you know, and you have that patriarchal conditioning in your head where you're like, well, but I work harder than someone and I don't want it to, like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You have to sort of allow all of that to get out and to deal with it and to understand that that's all propaganda and none of that's true.
Right.
It's because you're trying to imagine patriarchy without capitalism instead of matriarchy without capitalism.
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean?
Right.
And so when you have these ideas like going like, but it could be this.
Right.
Then you can much more easily let that go. That idea that you've been told you have to told you have to work yourself to death.
Right.
To be worth anything.
Yeah.
Not true.
No.
To let go of the idea that it's the people who have the least that are keeping you from more success, not the people who have a disproportionate amount of everything. Like that's
right.
Yeah. Okay. I'll try to move on. So Solarpunk also starts taking on this sort of concept that it's the opposite of cyberpunk. So cyberpunk is like really dystopian where tech destroys the planet, and it's I don't know, it feels more and more real every day. I feel like we're living in it already. Like, do you know what I'm saying? So Solarpunk being like the opposite of that, saying like that could happen, but also this could happen, is so we need both is my point. I'm not saying don't tell any scary stories. Please tell them.
Yeah.
but also tell the ones that look at how it could be.
Right.
Because what you've been told life without patriarchy and capitalism will look like is you're not going backwards in time.
No.
That's why it's like, look at tech could serve you.
Right. But that's important to note because there's actual propaganda out there.
Yes,
so that you'll have those feelings. And like even when you talk about things like land back, like how we should give land back to indigenous tribes and let them care for the land, like it's not like a coincidence, or it's not an accident that people think they hear land back and they think like
they're going to take my house.
I have to give my house up to you.
Right.
Right. Because like, first of all, we're just so literal. Humans are like that. But like, that's intentional. It's intentional that you fear that. And it's intentional that you think like without capitalism, we have to go back to like the 1400s and like give up shopping and like
which the
stores
were full of capitalism.
Agreed.
But that's
live in
a hovel or something.
Right. It's on purpose that you have those fears because that's what's stopping you from actually thinking beyond it and like thinking about the possibilities.
I think the land back is the perfect example because if you just tell people like, what if we do that? We, do the land back and we let indigenous people take care of the land.
Please let them.
Yes. But you don't say anything else. You leave the space.
Right.
For the patriarchy to fill in the fear mongering of what that actually is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so if you do that, then people aren't going to be excited about it. But if you show what it would look like instead.
Right. You can even see it with like saving the planet because we had all these activists for years now saying, save the planet, save the planet. And then we left that vacuum of like, okay, what now? And so then what did we hear for years? Oh, use plastic straws. Like you consumer, you one citizen,
it's your
this
fault.
Is on you.
Yeah.
You fix this because that's all the propaganda coming from all these big companies that are actually doing the polluting and the killing of the planet
and flying in their planes.
Right. But if you can shift it onto us feeling like we have to fix the planet, we like as individuals,
like we pay the price.
Not like as a collective, right?
Exactly.
Then like it keeps us frozen in fear and it gets us pissed off. And it's like, why not use this fucking terrible straw?
Yes.
You know what I mean? And you're like, no, forget it. Right.
Head.
You're like, no, forget it.
It's the idea that you, the person, has to pay the price.
Right.
Of convenience, of assistance, of ease, of any of that. That's what you're sacrificing for us to have matriarchy.
Right.
Or to have Solarpunk.
And you're not.
You are gaining so much more than you would lose. It's ridiculous.
Right.
You're not losing convenience.
No.
That's not
right.
You will not live in a hovel and your land will not be, and your home will not be confiscated for somebody. That's not what that is.
No.
Okay. I know we're harping on it, but I feel like it's really important. And it's like literally why I wanted to do this episode. Because I want, before the patriarchy starts screaming about this, I want there to be information out there about what it really is.
Okay.
Now we got to jump to 2014.
Okay.
This is interesting, and I hope that I don't sound disrespectful in how I'm saying this because I don't mean it that way. I just want to address it because you're going to go maybe look it up and be like, huh? And it's a little bit weird. Okay. So there was a Tumblr artist, remember Tumblr? Named Olivia Louise. Okay. And she made a bunch of art inspired by Solarpunk.
Okay.
I found it. It was very easy to find if you want like to Google it. And this caused like uproar. People were so excited about this art.
Really?
Yes. And it kind of like revitalized Solarpunk a little. So I was like excited to go see this art. And I was like, my first thought was like, it looks kind of like AI. Now, this is before AI. It is not AI.
I'm going to look it up.
But it's strange. It's cool. But it was not what I was expecting as like a super influential like this is what Solarpunk could be. But I think you'll look it up so you can see it.
It came up like it was like the third suggestion.
Yeah, easy. So
I have actually seen this before.
Okay.
Yeah.
My thought is that it's so vastly different from the sort of like you'll live in a hovel, like you'll go backwards in time if you do this. That I think that's what was so exciting about it.
Yeah.
But it isn't. How do you see like it's almost AI-ish? Do you know what I'm saying?
I see what you mean. It's not, but
yeah.
I see what you mean. Like that's what AI would like render now as
correct.
Yeah.
Which is also ironic.
it's really cool. It looks really modern and like, I mean, I think a lot of this, it looks like it's from Asian countries. But everything's like really stacked, but there's like, it looks like a city, but a city that's like covered in green and trees and grass, and
yes, but it's still very
futuristic. Cool. Yeah, it's very futuristic. Yeah.
So I think
it's very cool.
I am guessing this is a hypothesis because back in 2014, I did not see this.
No,
I don't remember. I don't think if I did, I don't remember. So I can't say for sure. And I can only tell you based on like reading a lot about it and seeing people's reactions to it, is that I think it sort of rocked people into being like, oh no, this is futuristic.
Right. Yeah, no, it does look, it looks futuristic. This is something you want to head towards. It's not going backwards. And that's my best guess. Yeah.
But I would say go look it up. It's cool.
It is.
But do you know what I mean? Like, it's not what I was expecting, like this real influential art. Like, it just wasn't what I was imagining.
Right.
So
Solarpunk is not about pretty aesthetics. It's about the end of capitalism. That's an article that came up.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do it.
I mean, we're in.
Yeah, it's sold.
All right. So shortly after this Tumblr account sort of gets all kinds of traction and people are excited about it, something else happens that's going to sound like it's not a big deal, but it is a big deal.
Okay.
And that is that a researcher named Adam Flynn writes about Solarpunk.
Okay.
So this is significant because Solarpunk leaves the realm of the artists, of the writers, of the bloggers, of the artists, of the just sort of like super hippies, like, look what this could be, like, let's make this a genre, and becomes like, well, what if we did a research paper?
Yeah, a little more serious, yeah.
Yeah, and this changes things.
That's great.
This makes a shift.
Okay.
So then in 2024, it is added to the Encyclopedia of Science Fiction. Now, that might not sound like a big deal, but that is a big deal because science fiction is incredibly influential.
Right.
So the fact that the term is now recognized in there, again, it's adding,
significant.
Yeah, it's adding like weight to it in a way that I think is important. And so what I would love to see, and I'm sure it will come out someday, or somebody like way smarter than me will put it together, and I would love it if you're listening, you would send it to me. But I'm willing to wager a bet that if you look at like the astrological falling of the patriarchy, the rise of Solarpunk will match the crumbling and falling.
Love that.
Because I started seeing a lot more about, look, I'm going to mention it. I was going to try not to. I started seeing a lot more about the Solarpunk stuff after Epstein. Like after that came out. And I do think...
Interesting.
I think a lot about the Epstein files. I've said plenty. But I do think that was such an exposing of the patriarchy.
Yes.
In such an insane way that is an influential moment in the crumbling. I know not enough is happening about it.
Yeah, it is not enough.
Yeah, agreed. But I'm just saying when you look back, it's going to be. And that's exactly when it started flooding
coming back up. Got it.
My FYP.
Nice.
Yeah. So if someone would compare those timelines, I would really just I would love to see that. Now, because this has remained like really underground, there are a lot of other elements of what happened and people talking about it, but I tried to just include here the things that I could like find.
Okay.
But I just want you to know, if you hear someone talking about another article about Solarpunk or another person, it doesn't mean that it's not right.
Right.
It's just that I couldn't verify it. So I just really tried to give you a history of where it came from that I could back up.
Okay.
All right. And you might be like listening, being like, Heather, we don't care. But like, I do care.
Right.
Because if we're going to stop like propaganda about it, like you're going to undo anything I say if you're like, oh, but this article was a fake or this didn't.
Right.
And I don't want that to exist here.
That's very true. That's a good point.
So I would like you to take that information. I'd like you to go look up all this stuff that we talked about and come back next week. And I would like to explain to you the key points and philosophies of what Solarpunk is and give you some ideas of what it could look like.
Okay.
And then even tell you some things I think it's lacking that we I think are coming, but like need to come fast for this to actually take off.
Okay.
So what do you think? Let's go do that.
Sounds great.
Join us next week when we continue chatting about this topic.
Hey everyone, Heather and I have an ask for you. If you love this episode or if you love the IGG, can you do us a favor? We need you to go onto whatever platform you listen on and download, subscribe, like, love, whatever it's asking you to do. Can you go do those things for us on the platforms that you listen on? It would mean so much to us.
Thanks for listening to our episode. For a way to get in touch with us, please visit our website, intuitivegirlsguide.com. We love hearing your feedback on our episodes.